Hello and welcome to the RK Football Podcast. We are back after a 2-week break.
Whoops, sorry.
Yeah, it's Graham's fault, as always. As you can tell, we have Graham Eyre in the studio with us.
Hello.
The two Matts, Matt Thowney.
Hello.
Matt Ty.
Hello.
There's no Stuart this week. We couldn't get a phone studio, so no Stuart this week.
$9,000 a year and we can't get a phone.
I know, it's terrible.
First no headphone jacks, now no phone. What's next?
They're trying to keep us down. It's not our fault.
Stick it to the man.
The new guy, Mark's not here either, unfortunately. He's,
Contract is still in works. See if he will actually turn up
He's
again.
yet to be signed. We're just finalising the finer details.
The boss has told him that he's not available.
He's a taxi driver today.
Girlfriend just pulled rank over football.
Yep. So, just the four of us today, but we've got a lot to get through.
Yes.
Obviously, we'll be speaking about the managerial changes, QPR, Villa. We'll be speaking about the midweek games. We've got Chelsea controversy, Mourinho having a fit again. Harry,
Like we never left.
I know.
I'm pretty sure we just talk about the same stuff each week.
Just the score
Just
lines
it's
change.
constant Mourinho.
It's just the
United
team.
being a little bit terrible.
It's just a team that changes.
We'll also be
The
talking
team
about.
that changed.
Yeah, it's real.
We'll also be talking about Harry Kane or Daniel Sturridge as England number 9, as well as injuries, gossips, predictions as well for this weekend. We're not going full out on the predictions. We're not going to be giving score predictions with the FA Cup. We will highlight a few fixtures though, such as the big game, Villa-Leicester.
Oh, the game everyone's been waiting
Even
for.
BBC agrees this time.
BBC have caught that one on TV.
So,
Ironically, after the Six Nations game of like Ireland, Scotland.
Ireland, Scotland.
Ireland, Scotland.
anyway,
Glad Mark was hinting
I think
for that.
I think we have to start with Paul Lambert being sacked. I think it's the biggest story of the week. I don't.
Well,
think
considering it affects you the most, I say you start us off.
I'm not surprised, to be honest, because the fans had turned their back on him. The fans never supported him in the first place. The fans had fully turned their back on him. And
I do like the fans in one sense. They brought arrows to the Chelsea game
Yeah.
to the goal.
And it worked.
It worked.
It worked. We can score against Chelsea. We can't score against Hull, but we can score against Chelsea. But yeah, I'm not surprised because they say the fans had turned their back on him. Once the fans have gone, you've got nothing.
Yeah.
But my question is, who out there is better than Lambert that can take the job on and wants the job?
Well,
That's the problem.
Well, the question, the better than him, probably for sort of a squad like that, probably someone like Tim Sherwood, Michael Lowry.
No, I wouldn't say that.
But
But
who-
I
who
think
would-
we need someone
I don't
experienced.
think anyone would want that job.
yeah,
considering you've
it's
got
a poison
owner-
chalice.
Mm.
You've got an owner
don't
there
win out
who's
of it.
one week wants to sell it and the next week, I'll back it. A club, no disrespect, but your players are either under 22 or past it,
Yeah.
and you've gone
And the
from
players who are
possibly
past
being
it
in
still
Europa
whack out of
League
form as well.
to possibly being in the Championship.
But would you really say that Tim Sherwood's a better manager than Paul Lambert? I wouldn't.
No,
personally.
I wouldn't.
I think you could go there and do a good job if it was a transfer window.
But the problem is Tim Sherwood's all about attack. When he was at Spurs, Tim Sherwood just scored loads of goals, but they conceded way more.
Well, I think
He
part
did-
of the problem
you know what I
is,
mean?
like, apparently, Lambert's come out recently and said that the owner told him when he took the job, this
Yeah,
is going to be the
mate,
hardest
said
thing you're
today.
ever going to do, and there were constant budget cuts and all this. Like, I understand that Randy Lerner's not massively fussed about the club anymore. Like, it kind of sounds like it was just like, oh, I'll buy this, it's my new toy. I'm
Well,
sucking
he's
it
been
down,
trying to sell
chuck
it for 6 months and no one's bought
But,
it.
like, how can you expect him to do any kind of a job if you're not going to give him some kind of backing?
I think personally, Paul Lambert, as you said, he came out with a statement and said when he was given the job, Randy Lerner said, you've got 3 aims. You've got to overhaul the squad and bring in young players on a wage budget and make sure you're in the wage budget, and then you got to stay in the Premier League. While he's been there, Lambert's actually done that. This season, it looks, well, the way it's been last couple of 2 months or so, we might not stay in the league, but for 83 years, he's done his job, what he was been told to do. He can't do much more, Lambert.
Yeah, no. To be fair, he's probably done the best possible job
That he
could
could
do.
possibly do.
Because the owner's saying, "Oh, you've got to keep us in the Premier League," but it kind of seems like he's bending over backwards to make it as difficult as possible for him.
I mean, obviously, like, his win ratio is terrible.
Oh yeah,
25%. But then if you look at the
If
other
you-
managers before, Alex McLeish only had 18%.
Gerard
Gerard
Houllier didn't have
Houllier
much,
only had
Gerard
30%.
Houllier 30. Even O'Neill only had 40%. I know he was there a lot longer. But you know what I mean. I don't even want to talk about David O'Dreary. I'm not even going there.
But well, another candidate that's just come to my head is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I know he's not got much experience because
Solskjaer turned the job down when Lambert took it. Solskjaer was the target and turned it down.
But then this is different times.
Yeah,
he's got Premier League experience. He might want it back.
Well, see, this is the problem. The two that have come out really are Sherwood and Laudrup.
Yeah.
Sherwood not experienced enough to keep us in the league. We will go down.
Yeah,
It seems pretty
Laudrup
likely.
at Swansea. Yeah, he did great winning the Carling Cup, but was that really his work?
Plus, there's also the fact
And then
that...
and then he took them to relegation battles again.
Yeah, plus there's Queen's Park Rangers went for him, and he said, no, I'm staying here at Latvia in Qatar
Yeah.
till
Yeah.
at least the summer.
I think
He's seen out his contract.
Expires in the June.
And
then
he's got no reason to leave. Like, he's earning a fortune over there because it's Qatar.
But then
crazy rich.
Then you look at who else, and you look at Jurgen Klinsmann, USA coach. Would you really want it when he's doing so well in USA?
For the USA.
He would be a good manager, but I don't think he'd want it.
Speaking of Klinsmann, I was looking because the latest FIFA rankings are out today. USA, I think, have broken the top 10.
So he has done a really good job at USA.
They've come from nowhere as well.
he
and
made
absolutely nothing
like
to being really
soccer
good.
a landmark in America now.
The MLS has kind of done that for him.
Oh yeah, but
because
then,
they're now
they've brought in the
attracting more
players,
big
but
names.
because of
Because
that,
they've got Gerrard.
because of that, kids are waking up on a morning thinking, I want to play football today.
Or soccer.
Soccer,
As
bro.
I say.
We won't call it that. It's football.
yeah.
No, but
But they're
like-
starting to attract more big
Yeah,
names.
it's
over there, 'cause
attracting
they've got
people.
Gerrard.
Lampard
Lukaku's
is
setting up
allegedly an
Orlando.
MLS player.
all serious now, the one manager that I'd take, as stupid as this sounds, out of the ones that are available and all this, I'd go for Steve McLaren.
He's ruled it out. He said he's not interested.
Yeah, but he says that. If they come in with the money,
Why-
it's a Premier League job. He's
Why
gonna want
in
it.
Gaal's
Yeah, but
name-
why would he go from a club that's going to be in the Championship? And then to
Dunno.
do that, he'd
See,
have
the
to leave a
Premier-
club that's pretty certain to wind up being in the Premier League. And
I
take
don't know
over
whether
the
they will.
Aston Villa spot because Derby are
I'm
really
not
good
saying
side.
I'm not saying he's definitely going to want it, but I'm saying if out of all the managers that's there, that's the one I'd be okay with.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I
because
think
he's a great club manager.
I think anyone in the bottom half would be happy with Steve McLaren as their manager.
Look at all the club sides that McLaren's had. He's done well at every single one.
It's true.
It's only England that he failed at.
True,
But to be honest,
this is-
anybody who took that England job was going to fail.
But what you've got to remember is if Steve McLaren comes in now, he can't do anything with the squad. The
Neither
transfer
can any
window's
manager,
gone.
though.
Yeah,
Neither can any
yeah.
manager.
But have you noticed that whenever he's been at a squad, he's always had players that he's brought in. He's never just walked into squad that he hasn't had doing
Yeah.
anything with.
So what
I
do you
get
think
that.
about apparently McLaren's a fourth favourite to get the job?
But
behind Sherwood, Laudrup and Glenn Hoddle. What do you think about Hoddle? You don't even need to say anything. Look at that.
Oh,
It'll
it's
be back
just-
to the O'Dreary days all over again.
Going back to McLaren, you say he's done well. Looking at some of his stats, at Wolfsburg, he was shocking.
Oh right, yeah, Wolfsburg. That's the one I forgot about. But and Notts Forest, you can't count Notts Forest because he only had not 6 games, but he only had so many games and he fell out with the owners. That was the owners at Forest. But everywhere else, 20. Middlesbrough, Derby, he's
Good
done well.
record, England.
Oh yeah, like
I mean, at
Despite being known as
Middlesbrough,
the Wally and the Brody, he
At-
won half his games as England manager.
yeah. I mean, at Middlesbrough, he was there for 5 years, won them the League Cup,
Got them to
got
the
them into Europe.
He got them to the final, didn't he?
I
Yeah,
think-
UEFA Cup final.
I think he would rather by quite a distance stay at Derby County because he's got a squad there that
No, I
he
know
knows
that, yeah.
inside out, and like Graham says, why go to a squad that's fallen apart?
I know that. I'm not saying he'll want it. I'm just saying, out of all the ones that are there, if we appoint Tim Sherwood, I'm not going to be happy.
It's
So
such a difficult job to go into.
I don't see the point in sacking Lambert to put Tim Sherwood in there.
For
What's
whoever's got the
point?
job of doing it, it's going to be such an hard sell to have to say to
Tim-
somebody, you should come here because of.
Tim Sherwood is
You
one
could
of
go
those-
there to see a Benteke that's not in form, a Vyman that's kind of
None
awful,
of the players are in form.
a Bonglahor who's basically been your best player.
One,
He's been
one
shagged.
player I have noticed, Scott Sinclair's actually done all right. He can
But-
cross the ball, but there's no one making those runs for
This
him.
is what I mean. You say he's done all right. He hasn't done well. He just doesn't look as bad as the other players.
There was something
at
on
the minute.
Sky Sports News this morning. They were talking about like the players he's brought in since he started.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was like in his first season he spent like 20.
he spent 20 million.
24 million,
Two of
and
the
then his
9
next
players were
season he
above
spent, like,
25.
4 million less than that. But each of those 2 seasons he only bought one player for more than 5 million. This season he spent like 8 million or something, and he's brought in no one of any value.
People keep mentioning Harry Redknapp to me, and I'm like, well, he only left QPR because he had a health reason. And how dodgy would that be?
Yeah, if he
just
now
like,
takes this
oh, no,
job.
I'm fine, I don't need surgery
My
anymore.
knees don't need the surgery, I'm feeling fine. I've always wanted to manage Villa.
Well, actually, you could see that coming, in fairness, knowing Harry Redknapp.
It is
You
a
could.
bit of a random thing.
The problem I've got is, why, if you were going to sack Lambert, why not do it 2 months earlier when Tony Pulis was available? 'Cause
Well,
he
not
would have
even
done a
just
great
that.
job.
I think in some ways he's also left because of, like, literally, mate. I think it is because of the doubt within that club that he's going to sell it. He's going to back it, like Matt said. He doesn't want to be in a club that doesn't have any stability about it. Maybe that's why he's left, and it's just at such a weird time because he's left.
No, I think he's been sacked.
They've not helped him.
I mean, only a week ago, the new chief executive, who only came in the job 4 months ago, Lambert does not get on with him.
Who is it? Tom Fox or Tim Fox? Something like that.
Something like that.
in an interview, he didn't even refer to him by his name. He said, that bloke that called me.
Yeah.
So, but a week ago, he came out and said, we support Lambert. We lose a game
And yet he's got no
and drop
backroom
into the
staff.
bottom three.
And then
He's got no backroom staff.
I
How
know.
can that be supporting him?
He's not been given the chance. See, the thing is, like, the whole game, there's no debate. That's the worst Villa performance you'll probably ever see in the last 10 years. We got outplayed. We got dominated.
Worse than the 8-0 loss.
By a
Worse
championship
than the
side.
8-0 loss. Because
Really?
at least you can say, even in the 8-0 loss, we put in an effort. We had a couple of chances.
You did, I was there. It was pretty decent.
And we got dominated by a better
By a
side.
massively superior
Well, and
side.
also, what you got to remember is that this was a relegation 6-pointer as well, so Villa had to turn up. And they
We
didn't.
went to Hull.
Oh, there you
We
go.
went to Hull and looked like a conference side.
They just don't look like they're interested.
That-
I
that's
feel
the
so
problem.
sorry for the fans.
Which is why I can completely understand why they have sat Lambert. I'm just saying, why haven't you got a replacement lined up
And
if you're
they've,
going to do
they've
it?
Yeah.
gone out of their way to make it so much more difficult for him. How long ago was it that Roy Keane left?
2 months.
November, I think he left.
I think it was something
before that.
It was,
After
no,
that.
it was.
Well, it's
it
been
was
a while.
Not too
It's
long
been-
after the
it's been a
Chelsea
while.
game.
It was
been
a
a
long.
while.
It's been a long
Chelsea
time, and
game.
it does
But
not
like-
take that long to hire a decent assistant manager.
To me, I mean, I think
Roy Keane's actually the favourite to replace Paul Lambert.
I can't see that happening
No,
personally.
why would you leave?
Why would he leave?
Why
yeah.
would you?
I think
leave if you want to-
I think he's going to end up being Sherwood because there's a reason that he's not QPR manager because he was destined to be, and then all of a sudden it changed and he was out running, and then Lambert got sacked.
thing is with Lambert is that
November 28th,
he's never had
Keane left.
a whole season to himself. Villas Boas, like that was his squad, and it was just Tim Sherwood brought in the players that should have been in the squad from the beginning. Whereas he will be going into that squad, and he's got to change something. He's got to literally rebuild that
Squad,
side.
that
So-
entire side needs tearing apart and building back up.
There's a lot of talk.
I'm going to throw in a name. Paul Clement.
Real Madrid assistant.
Real
I
Madrid,
don't-
former Real Madrid current assistant, Chelsea assistant, and PSG former assistant.
I can't really see
He's
why
done
he
it,
would
he's done
want
it
to.
before.
But that's a bigger risk than Sherwood because you're giving someone who's never
Yeah.
had a managerial
No, Paul
job.
Clement has
need-
managed Blackburn. He managed Blackburn. After Ancelotti left Chelsea, he managed Blackburn until December. Then Ancelotti became PSG boss.
Oh
and
yeah,
Ancelotti
yeah, he
wanted
did.
Clement
But like,
back.
you're giving someone who failed at Blackburn, one of the biggest clubs in England. You're giving him that job. As a club, we are still up there. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
that's the thing. They're as big as Newcastle, you would say.
I'd say bigger, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be
but
biased.
you're gonna
Paul
be biased.
Clement's actually the long-term favourite to replace Chris Ramsey at the end of this season.
Yeah, that's the sort of job that I can see him going to. He will fail at Villa. The fans would
But
tear
what
him
about
apart.
QPR anyway? Talking about Chris Ramsey.
Well, yeah, QPR have appointed Chris Ramsey until the end of the season, which is
Surprising considering
Surprising.
they took Tim Sherwood. He's
Well-
been going to their last couple of games.
It seems weird as well because the other day there was a quote that got attributed to Tony Fernandez saying that he was on the verge of signing his dream manager,
he
and
said,
then
"I think
Sherwood
I've got my dream
dropped
manager,
out,
not
and
one
now
to-
all of a sudden we've got this trend starting of, oh well, we've got a caretaker manager, so what we'll do is we'll give him a contract to the end of the season because they're our manager
It
for
does-
now, but we're not going to have any
it does
consistency
really
for next
smell
season.
of, and like I don't know for certain, but it smells to me like Sherwood was taking the job, QPR job. Villa have got in contact and said, we're sacking Lambert, would you want the job? Sherwood's going to be a named Villa manager. That's the only reason why he wouldn't take the QPR job, to me.
It does.
It's
does
just,
seem
I think
dodgy.
Villa are the same as QPR, but there's a massive difference.
there's a massive difference in club, but not in team at the minute. That's the problem.
Like,
I would say QPR are probably a better team right now.
Better
one
squad,
player,
I
yeah,
think.
but that's one player better. I'd say one player better.
But-
than
no,
Aiden.
No, as a squad depth, they've got a better squad. They're just
struggling
players don't
badly at the
perform.
moment. They're really struggling. But I would say that the squad, man for man, is probably better.
Chris
than Aston
Ramsey
Villa's.
did do something that Harry Redknapp never did, which was win away from home.
Great winning midweek 2-0 away at Sunderland.
But it just doesn't make, for me, it doesn't make sense why, well, actually in some ways it does as well, is Chris Ramsey's been appointed for the rest of the season, right? But like Graham was saying to me earlier, you're still unsure about what's going to happen because he's not going to be there next
It
season.
just seems like the start of some kind of weird trend of...
They're appointing the manager for the rest of
I
it.
don't
and
know if
then-
it's the
It
thing-
worked for Swansea with Gary Monk.
I'm not saying
worked with
I'm not saying it
Chelsea
can't.
with,
I'm
Amram
not saying it
Grant
can't
and
work.
Timoteo.
It just seems like if you're a big business, which football clubs are, they're raking millions, in some cases hundreds of millions a year. You can't do short-term planning, and it just
No.
seems like it's short-term planning at its absolute worst.
Breaking news. But statement from the FA, both Chelsea and Everton have been charged by the FA for failing to ensure their players' conduct. Chelsea defender Branislav Ivanovic will face no further action over the incident with James McCarthy.
What?
Oh.
We're going to move on to this.
Yeah,
we may as well move on to it now while it's there.
That's
Yeah.
going to cause a lot of...
Chelsea Everton in midweek. For anyone that doesn't know about
for anyone
this.
who's been living under a
Chelsea
football
won
rock.
1-0 and it was
Wait.
a good win, but
Massive win in
the
the
controversy was over a incident between James McCarthy and Branislav Ivanovic where it looked like Ivanovic sort of either dropped a headbutt or a bite.
Something.
You hear different versions from different people. The FA have now said that there's no further action, so they believe he's innocent. What did you guys think when you first saw it?
Well-
I agree, he definitely grabbed McCarthy round the throat.
Which is not okay.
Which is still not okay, but Vertonghen got away with it, so I think
Yeah,
that's
no,
fine, fair play.
it's-
But going
Yeah,
towards
but
with
you
someone,
know-
going towards someone with your head is still not okay.
Yeah.
So you can't say ground his neck's okay because Vertonghen
It's
got away
not.
with it.
It's- I'm
Two
not
wrongs
saying-
don't make a
I'm
right.
not saying
Both
it's-
players should have been sent off,
Yeah.
Vertonghen and
Yeah.
Ivanovic.
And just-
That's what I'm saying. So you can't do one without the other because it will make it look like.
But
that
there
the
is
FA just acting
like
Chelsea.
when me and Matt were in
It's just a bad refereeing decision. All
Exactly.
clubs have that.
when me and Matt were watching the game, they showed the incident, and immediately I've just thought, right, no, he's banned. I don't care. I'm a Chelsea fan. Get him banned. I don't
He
care.
should- he
You
should-
don't do
It
that.
should be a red.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
no.
If Mourinho's clever, he won't play Ivanovic against PSG.
Yeah.
I don't think we can afford.
no,
not
not
to.
PSG, not PSG.
I think-
Well, that's
It-
our next game.
Yeah, but
Then
it's a
it's
European
Burnley.
game, so he'd be available for that anyway.
Did Chelsea? Oh yeah, they did.
We're out of the FA Cup, mate.
Yeah, but no, I think it'd have to be the Burnley game because if he was to be suspended by the FA, he could play in the PSG game anyway. So to make a point, you'd not play him in the Burnley
Like,
game.
I don't think we can afford not to play him because he's been such a big defender this season for us. And if we drop him, well,
I think
Against
Against PSG,
PSG.
is better right back.
Yeah. I think he fits in better with the squad.
This
as
is
well.
something you've got to remember, and Ivanovic is the first one to say this. He's not a right back.
He's a centre back.
He's centre
yeah,
back.
he is.
That's
a
where he
centre
wants
back,
to play.
Exactly. But anyway, with the incident, yeah, I personally think he should have been
It was
banned. I
blatant.
don't like what FA is saying here. For me, is a load of rubbish. He should be banned for a few games.
It's a blatant thing of you've got to
Like,
ban him, send him off somewhere.
There is-
It's a classic thing of you see your kid watching it. Oh, Dad, is that all right if I do that? No, it's not. Like, it's not
See,
at
like,
all.
there's no denying that the FA charging Chelsea and Everton for the handbag brawl that went on after. That's not a surprise because
Yeah.
let's be honest, it happens all the time whenever someone does it.
Does seem to have happened a lot more this season as well, that kind of thing.
The FA have cracked down on it a lot this year. I've
You'll
noticed
find
that.
some of the refereeing decisions have been
But
bloody
there's
awful.
been some shockers this season.
No wonder there's been a lot of handbag moments
But,
in the press because the refereeing decision have been. Some of them they're missing blatant stuff like this, and other ones they're getting some of the crucial decisions wrong.
There is, but there is. That's
It's
still
still
no.
no- still no
That's
reason
still
to
no
react like
excuse
that.
to react like that.
But it's happening more and more because the
I mean-
refereeing is so.
I mean, I've got to be honest. Mourinho's teams are teams that like to.
They're combative, aren't they? They're happy
Yeah.
to like fight it out.
They
if
like
have
to influence referees by sort of just. I don't know. What's the word? I'm trying to think of the right word.
It's like you could
By their presence,
They
yeah.
have a type of team that will like run up
Intimidate a
and surround
referee.
the referee with 4 or 5 players.
I think,
Yeah.
I think you'll
That-
find,
that's a
you'll
Mourinho
find that with
tactic.
any
Lots of
big
teams
club,
do
though.
it, but you'll notice that
Mourinho's
certain teams are
Mourinho's
lesser
do
on
it a lot.
whether it's an intentional thing or not, a lot of Chelsea players do seem
Like
to be.
you get that with pretty much any sort of big teams going for something. They will want
Plus,
to win.
to be fair,
so
if I had John Terry running up to me, getting angry like he used to do back in the day, if I was a referee, I'd feel pretty intimidated. Because he's an hard-looking guy.
I do think it's more a Mourinho tactic, because even not just at Chelsea, Real Madrid, Inter Milan, they all did it. They were all any decision went against them, they surrounded them with
But
8
the thing
players.
is, what we got to remember is that, like, Mourinho gets in trouble for saying anything these days. He can't get away with saying anything, even if he says it in a sarcastic way. No,
Yeah.
he's still getting in trouble for it.
But that's every
I'm
manager.
sorry.
Well,
That's
spoke
every
about-
manager.
No,
though.
it's not. Let me say this.
We
No.
spoke about it on the way up, and I agree with you.
Yeah, but the sarcasm, like, I'm sorry, no, like, Paul Lambert could say it, and then he wouldn't get in trouble for it. Mourinho says it.
Lambert,
he does. Because
Lambert's
of
already
reputation.
had 3 fines this season.
Yeah, but not for like all of this. What's
You
been
can't.
going on?
The problem. I'm not saying he should be fined, because I agree that like some of what he says it should be taken as a joke. But the rule is you can't talk about a referee in a negative way at all, and you get fined straight away.
I
It's
just
right.
think it's-
Like I said, I agree. I do think the FA possibly go after him a bit more than possibly some other managers.
But it's a way to make.
definitely do.
It's a way.
It's fact.
I think
It's
a part of
fact.
it is because he's such a high-profile name.
They're watching him more.
Yeah, but it's not just that. Mourinho actually talks about the referees
Yeah.
a lot more than other managers.
But we've
He
also
is
got,
quite a bad
like,
loser, isn't he?
everyone in this room, if they could say who they like to interview after a game, everyone would say Mourinho.
Oh, yeah,
because of how
'cause he's a
Yeah,
great
yeah,
interview.
As a journalist, I would want to speak
Yeah.
to somebody who you know you're going to get
Yeah.
good stuff from. But this is what I was saying to you before about, like, part of his problem is that he builds such bad relationships with the journalists who are regularly going to those Chelsea games and interviewing him after the matches. Why would you want to write anything that would defend a manager who consistently goes out of his way
See,
to
this is
give
the
you
problem.
nothing and mug you off?
This is the problem.
It
when
makes it so much
when
more
Mourinho
difficult
was
for him.
first at Chelsea, he got on with all the press, and that's why you were always hearing
Yeah,
these
he was such a
special ones.
colourful
He's
guy.
such a great guy. Since he's been back, he's been horrible.
I
to the
think
media.
you should take the Zatalan way of talking to the press. Just like, do you actually know your facts? No, then don't talk to me.
Zlatan ain't been-
Do you know football better than
I do
I am
just
Zlatan.
I do just want to say about the Mourinho thing, because he has been moaning for a long while.
Yeah.
The problem he's got is whether we agree with the rule of he should be allowed to talk about referees or not. At the start of the season, everybody's told that that's the rule.
Yeah.
And Mourinho breaks the rule.
everyone
So
is-
at the end of the day, he should be fined for that.
Everyone is
okay,
always
but-
given the same amount of, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. And
If Van Gaal
he-
talks about referees,
he
he
still
gets
gets
fined.
the same stuff.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean.
It's just that
what it
other
is.
managers tend to be a bit smarter
But
about how they
like,
do it.
it's all this stuff of everyone aims at Mourinho. In some ways, it is true because
I don't think
Oh,
I'm
no,
surprised
we do
that he's
aim
not
a
been
lot
brought up for saying, for when he said if one of my players did what an incident
Yeah.
a player did on the weekend.
When I
he
saw
would
that,
get
I was
fined.
thinking, oh, you pillock. But
But
like,
he's got a fair point.
Oh, no,
Because
like I said,
if
I
it was
agree.
if it was
I
someone
agree.
like John Terry had broken
Yeah.
Creswell's nose,
No,
which Van Persie
I-
did,
I completely-
3-match fine. There we go.
I completely agree, and it was totally wrong that nothing happened.
But that's the problem. Mourinho should keep those opinions to himself
Yeah.
and not in the press.
But,
actually,
yeah,
no. I would, to be honest, in some ways, I like to hear a manager say
I'm
these
not,
things.
no, I'm
because
not
then
saying
it's-
I don't like it. I'm just saying if that's the rule, he should keep it to
Yeah.
himself, or
True, yeah.
or do it, but don't complain about getting fined
to be
because you're
fair,
asking for it.
It was the same back in
yeah.
the day with Ferguson, because he was such a colourful character. And like, yeah, it's good to see people being honest, but at the same time, is it really worth causing that much trouble for your club?
The FA
Chelsea cannot be happy that he's getting this many fines and he's getting that kind of bad publicity for the club.
Yeah,
It
no,
does
that's-
not reflect well on Chelsea as a team, as a club,
As a unit,
when
yeah,
you've
it's not.
constantly got this guy going out and getting fined and getting charged and everything.
The FA have really cracked down on it this year because of the way Mourinho was about referees every time Chelsea lost last year. One manager in particular, yes, Tim Sherwood did it. Brendan Rodgers has done it a lot. That's why they've cracked down on it this year. That's the problem. I do see your point about is it good for the club? When Mourinho comes out and says everyone's against Chelsea, it's great for the team. Because
Yeah,
the players believe it and they go, all right, let's win the league.
That stuff's good.
It's mind
But
games.
when he's getting charged and stuff like that, it's, like they say, you're bringing football into disrepute. It looks bad on Chelsea. The fact that Chelsea manager, one of the top names in world football,
He's saying there's a campaign.
regardless of the fact that he's Chelsea's manager, he's one of the top names in world football. And then
He's
he
playing
manages
up
one of
like
the
a
top
little kid
teams.
most of the time.
He's been a
Mourinho.
bit of a kid. and it's making Chelsea look bad as a club.
But that's Mourinho. He's always been like that. It's fair to say
That's why
you
people
two
like
are
him.
Chelsea fans, but Mourinho is a terrible loser.
He is.
Oh yeah. I'm
Awful
not
loser.
going to sit here and say that he's not, because you see him after the games. I can't remember one game apart from when he was first at Chelsea where he's not complained.
To be fair, I don't think it's that he's a terrible loser. I think it's that he's such a
he's
winner.
more a fan
well, yeah.
than a
He's
manager.
such a winner that it's so difficult for him to lose.
Isn't that the same thing?
He's
though?
also become
but
more
it's-
like a fan.
No,
of
no,
Chelsea.
Yeah.
no. It's because
Well,
like,
yeah,
when
he's become a fan.
when
he's
you've
got the
become
loyalty.
He's
got that
the-
hunger
he's got the sort
Yeah.
of like
and
fan
everything
spirit.
to win, then losing, okay, in some ways, he's a bit like being a sore loser, but then it's kind of like gives you the motivation to get to that next one.
No,
doesn't it? Like,
I'm not saying that. At the end of the day, Mourinho is the best manager in the Premier League, the best mind game manager probably in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I
he
mean,
probably
it
is the
used
best
to be
manager right
Fergie.
now in the world.
It used to be
Yes.
Fergie, and then 10 years ago, Mourinho walked in and just slapped him off the pedestal, basically. You know what I mean?
like,
His opening statement, don't call me arrogant, I think I am a special one.
I mean, the thing.
Still up.
I think the thing is, like, I think the class debate was when Alex Ferguson retired. They were talking about all these trophies he's won, and then like they said, oh yeah, by the way, Mourinho, he's been in the game, but then he's on this many, and then and it was not even that many behind, and you think he's got so long to go, he could actually do it, but the thing is, he's
Mourinho
going to get himself
only
into
recently
trouble
just
did it.
all the
Yeah,
time.
He's still a pretty young manager.
It's terrible. It's really bad of him to walk out the interview like he did
Yeah,
on the BBC.
I think
Match
that
Day
was-
interview. That's totally
I think that's
unprofessional.
kind of
But if you
again sort of mind gaming.
But if you
Yeah.
did in the interview, he said he was getting so many questions about the Ivanovic situation. He generally said, "Look, if I get one more Ivanovic question, I will walk out."
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but that's the journalist's job. If they didn't ask the Ivanovic question,
They would get.
you'd look at the journalist and go, "What are you
What are you
doing?"
doing?
No, but the thing is, they'd asked him 5 times about the Ivanovic question, and each time he's given them an answer.
Yeah, no. To be
Th-
fair,
then he said-
he
then-
did specifically say one more of us. And
One
I'm
more
walking out."
Ivanovic question. I've answered the previous 4.
Which,
one more,
you know-
I will walk out.
In fairness, you've got your answers already because every newspaper, it doesn't matter whether you're the one asking a question or not, every journalist there is going to take those answers down.
So this is the problem with the
you've
BBC
got plenty
one.
of material.
All the newspaper ones had asked him loads and loads. This was the first question the BBC one had actually asked him, but because he'd answered it 4 times for other people, he'd had enough. Which I get that.
To be fair, the
but you
BBC
shouldn't walk
the
out on
BBC
the interview.
journalist, if you're working for one of the most respected news affiliate organisations in the world,
Should know not to.
should be doing a better job of cross-referencing what he's asking
And what he's already
against
said.
what's already been said.
But I think
Yeah.
Mourinho's going to become the person in interviews.
Because that's
For the
easy.
rest
That's
of the
journalism
season.
101. You make sure what you're asking isn't something that's already been asked because
No,
it's
but-
not original material.
Yeah, but this is the problem. Like, because the BBC do their interviews where it's just them in the interview. If they hadn't asked about Ivanovic because
Yeah.
other people have, and all the papers go with Mourinho not happy about Ivanovic, no comment, all this, and then they've got, yeah, it was a good win, it was a good win. The guy's going to get sacked because
Right.
he's not
Yeah,
doing his job.
but he should have at least cleared it up with him first and just said, at some point,
I'm going to
I've
mention.
got to ask it.
But the thing is that what we've got to remember is that Mourinho, from now on, whenever he has interviews, he's just going to have to be that guy that just goes, oh, I didn't see it.
Because I know for
Because
gonna
if
do
he
a
says
Wenger.
anything, then he's just
Yeah,
going
He's
because
got to do a Wenger.
if,
He said, "I
if
did
that
not see."
was a TV interview, I can tell you for a fact that he hasn't just walked up and they've just rocked up with a camera and seconds later they're
He's
like,
walked
right,
out.
here you go.
Yeah.
They've had him there for a good 5-10 minutes. They've probably discussed some of the material and they've done like a basic thing of this is what's happening. I need you to stand here for the lighting.
Yeah. No, I know that. I know
Yeah.
completely. But see, the problem is that I saw. It really annoyed me. I saw a tweet by a Chelsea fan. It was like, "Why are all the media on Mourinho's back about walking out on the interview? Blah 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 blah." Well, he walked out on the interview. They ain't gonna go, "Oh no, we completely understand." You know what I mean? They're gonna be angry.
Yeah,
So
to be
they're
fair,
gonna paint him in a bad light.
That's what I was saying before about his building this negative relationship with the press. Like, yeah, there's always going to be journalists who just take a disliking to you on a professional level. So
Wasn't
they're
it
always
something
going
like
to
3
go
years
out
ago,
the way.
Fergie only started doing BBC
Yeah,
interviews.
it wasn't that long. It took how
That
many years?
wasn't to do with the journalist. That was more to do with
That was something the BBC done.
BBC,
that he
the
didn't
BBC
take out,
broadcasted
but-
a documentary on Bungs that used his son and
Yeah.
got his son in trouble. So that's why he wouldn't talk to
I
BBC.
didn't know that much. I just knew
Yeah.
Fergie wouldn't speak to the
Yeah.
BBC.
Yeah.
It was always
Yeah,
his
no,
assistant, weren't it, that would speak to him.
Yeah.
So,
Can we go on to some positive Chelsea news?
Yes, because we've spent a long time talking
We've spent
about
about
pretty rough
20
stuff.
minutes on Mourinho.
Well,
Positive Chelsea news, Eden Hazard has signed a new 5.5-year contract.
positive for Chelsea.
That is
terrible
positive.
for the rest of the league.
It's positive considering we're just about to pay PSG, who always need to spend about 70
also,
million.
the best thing about it is that me and Matt were talking about it last night, and most people around the world started talking about it. This guy could be the next best thing.
I've been
football.
expecting more now, because he's been at Chelsea, what,
It says
3
here,
years?
It says here he's played 147 appearances since he joined in 2012. He scored 43 goals, contributed 46 assists. He's been named in the PFA Team of the Year each time for the last 2 years, and he got their Player of the Year accolade last season. So to be fair, he's not exactly had a bad time.
No, I'm not saying that, but this is the season that I'm
that-
expecting Hazard to be the best player in the Premier League.
Now that he's done all this,
And
and
he
he's got
isn't
this
quite there.
contract,
He's got
You're
13
kidding
goals.
me, right?
so
I
far
don't
this
think he's...
season.
Are you saying he's the best Premier League player out of all the teams, out of all the players?
I think he's the best player in his sort
Name
of
me,
age group.
go on. Who do you think's better?
Sergio Aguero.
No.
I personally
He's played in
think
every
Aguero.
single game this
I think-
season.
Yeah, I'm
and
not
contributed
talking
most.
about injuries. I'm just talking about talent.
I think-
and the way he affects a game.
I think in Hazard's age group, he's the best young player. But now that he's done all this stuff so far for Chelsea, and he's got this contract, and he knows that I'm here for hopefully for the long haul. This is now he's got to kick on. He's got to kick on, and he's got to really start putting his mark on the game, because otherwise he's just going to be another one of those also runs like. I don't know, like so many other players have been, where you've said this could be somebody spectacular,
And he wasn't.
and then they just wind up being a pretty good player.
He's
who's-
doing really well. I'm not denying his talent. He's in the top 5 players.
Yeah,
without
no,
doubt.
Like for me, we was watching him last night. He on that field, he's the most cool-headed on the ball. In these like you're thinking get the ball in, but he's so cool about it and everything. You think he could come up against anyone, and he will probably be that player. That's
Is he on the level of, say, Gareth Bale when he left Spurs that season he had at Spurs? Is he on that level? 'Cause that's where I was expecting Hazard to be at.
I always said he was better than Bale.
You reckon?
I reckon Bale's a very good player, but I still think that at that time especially, I still think Hazard was better, and I still think he's better now.
I would say about they're balanced. Because
I just think that Bale would balance better with Ronaldo. Like if they'd taken Hazard instead, I don't think it would have worked quite as well.
No,
but
no.
I still think he's a better
Do
player.
you think he'll stay at Chelsea for a long time, or I know he signed a 5.5-year deal, but do you really
Contracts
see
don't mean nothing
Do you
these
really
days.
see him seeing that, or in 2 years, if Real Madrid or Barcelona slap an £80 million bid on him?
I
Is he
think
gonna
that
go?
I think that depends on what happens within that time.
Yeah, obviously.
Because
but-
if he now wins World Player of the Year, say, which not going to happen, but if he does, then no, I don't think they could take him away for love
well,
nor money. But
No, yeah, but see, this is the problem. Like, this is what I'm saying. Is he going to get to that point where he's, and I don't mean this horribly,
he's done everything
too
he can at
talented
Chelsea.
for Chelsea? Because Real Madrid and Barcelona are always the bigger sides in
Or
Chelsea.
Bayern, or yeah.
I think.
I think it's going to be the classic thing of like the balance of power between the two leagues. Well, and maybe
Maybe Bayern.
Bayern as well. But I look at it and think, give it another like by the end of that contract, he could be the best player in the world. But the Premier League and all the teams in there are the best. That's the best league, and the best teams are
To
in
be
there.
fair, now that I think about it, I
So-
know I said Bayern first. I was the person who said it just then. But Bayern don't really spend money.
Yeah.
They've
They
never been
they
a
wait
team
until
that-
you're about to run out your contract and then get you on
Is
a
it-
free.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking more the Real Madrid's or Barca. I mean, if Serie A picks up, maybe a Juventus.
They-
Serie A is picking up again.
It is slowly picking up. but-
Only one team though. Only one team's
Don't
picking
know.
up.
No,
you
because,
got Roma,
is
you
it-
got Napoli, you got
There was a thing
Fiorentina.
about another club that's buying their stadium, like wanting to buy it outright,
Yeah.
because that's what Juventus have done, and that's why they've managed to get so.
Yeah.
Like that's how they're managed to pick up now.
Like if also I think as Hazard's at the age where this is like a 5-year contract is a big statement. Obviously.
definitely.
It's a big statement saying that this player is not going anywhere and he's staying here for the long haul.
A 5-year statement says to me when
5 years.
5-year statement, 5-year
Jeez,
contract.
he's not gone to
says-
jail, is he?
No, but he says to me like when you look back on his career that you'll think of Chelsea because he stayed there for that long.
Like he was a the weird thing was, and it's great to think this as a fan, and like what's it? Real Madrid will be happy, like they got the 16-year-old as well. This is how happy
Odegaard,
Chelsea
yeah.
were when they got Hazard. Is that this player was talked about by everyone trying to get him. Chelsea got him, get in. Real Madrid got the 16-year-old. You think, oh,
See, this is the thing. He's 24 now. To say 5.5 years. Say he does do the 5.5 year contract. He'll be what 29.
You call him 30 because
29, 30. He'll be in the peak of his career scientifically. That's
Yeah.
what they say.
And
So-
then when you get past 30, apparently you go off form. Like
I mean, he
Ronaldo
could have peaked early.
Ronaldo's not exactly
Yeah, I
gone
know.
off form.
He could have peaked early, but say he hasn't. He's a Messi and Ronaldo type character.
I can imagine him being one of those.
No, we are living in the era of like there's the 4 best players to ever grace the game, and we're witnessing 2.
But if you're saying
Right now.
if you're saying he's the best player in the Premier League right now, and we're saying if he gets better in 5
Yeah.
years, what level?
Well, like,
how's that not Ronaldo level?
No, because Ronaldo is one of the 4 best players to ever.
Yeah, but
I've got some
arguably,
I don't think
arguably, the Premier League is far away from being. Like, it's so much better than the other leagues in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got
Because
some Hazard
he's so
stats
close.
When you're done. I've got some Hazard stats. In the Premier League since he arrived, only Santi Cazorla's got 2 more assists than him. He's beaten the likes of Gerrard, Mata, Silva and Nasri. Only Yaya Toure has scored more goals than him in the Premier League. Comparing him for this season, he's got the most goals from a midfielder. Second in the chances created and goal involvement. First, I think, is Fabregas. And he's the first with the most dribbles completed. So
Like-
he's not exactly having a bad day, is
Oh
he?
no, he's not. But I just see it as like Ronaldinho is one of the best midfielders like when I was growing up I've ever seen. Yeah, but I wouldn't say that he was one of the like oh
So
my
he's-
god.
So you
blew
reckon
the
if
world
Hazard get
away.
better, he'd be on the Ronaldinho level,
Yes,
but not the
yes,
Ronaldo
Yeah,
level?
like Messi
Got ya.
blew the world away. Like
Yeah, no, I suppose that's.
yeah,
That-
Ronaldo blew
I mean,
the world
and I mean,
away.
a Ronaldinho level ain't a bad
No,
place.
I
to
know.
live in your
Yeah,
career,
it's
is
not
it?
bad.
If at the end of
It's
your
not.
career people are saying, "Oh, you kind of like Ronaldinho,"
Yeah,
you'd be
like-
like, "Okay,
like
I can do that."
I don't see how Hazard for me is going to be like someone the next Ronaldo. For me, I don't see it happening. I mean, Iniesta for me is one of like in the top 10 best ever players.
Yeah, but don't forget
So-
when Ronaldo first started at Man United, he was a bit crap.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It took him quite a while before he started getting properly
Guys,
good.
we're going to have to move on because we have got
Yeah.
some stories to get through. and
We've got some stuff to
we're
get through.
running
And
out.
we're already like 45
Yeah.
minutes in, so
Well, yeah.
Another big talking point is the new Premier League deal
Then the new Premier League
5.1
deal.
billion.
between BT and the Premier League. It'll bring the first ever Premier League games on Fridays.
Yeah, BT, Sky
Week of
Sports.
football!
BT's got it's a 70% rise on their last contract. 70%. It's gone from 3.018 billion to 5.1 billion. That's scary.
This is the first. I just found the details.
When that
of
kind
the
of money is
first
getting
ever
thrown around
Premier
for
League
football,
contract.
that is not okay.
The first ever Premier League
There are
TV
countries with smaller budgets than that. Sorry.
The first ever Premier League contract for the TV rights was 190 million.
92, right? 92 to 97.
192 to 97, 190 million. It's now 5.1 billion.
Yeah, but look if you look at the gap between the first 2 deals, first one to 97 was 190, but then from 97 to 2001 it was 670 million. It had gone up 500 million, which shows the rise and the rise and the rise.
Well,
up until we get to 5.1 billion, and this is ridiculous now.
In 92, that contract was still like a ridiculous.
It was still like the
Yeah.
biggest
Don't
thing
get
in
me
the
wrong.
world.
Like, if somebody offered me that kind of money now, I wouldn't be saying no. I'm sorry.
Because it was
That's
a
not
new
much.
league, new idea, and everyone was like, "Ooh, will it work?"
Yeah,
And then they saw how
a bit like
successful it
Setanta, really.
was. Yes.
Did you guys see how Lord Alan Sugar
Compared
reacted?
it to prune juice.
Yeah, say
It's gonna go in one end and out the other.
you're fired.
But like what is it? The thing is, it's going to be like, is it going to start from next season?
It starts from 2016, 2017.
Yeah. So in some ways, it would be quite funny to see, like, say the title is going to be decided on this last weekend, but then the team that is top wins on the Friday. The team on Saturday,
It'll
like,
never
oh,
happen like
like,
that.
we're not going to.
It'll never happen like that.
Yeah, I know,
because-
but like, it'd be funny.
But BT Sport are slowly
Rebound.
starting to catch up in football because they've got the FA Cup, they've got the Champions League from next season, is it?
Yeah.
They already show Europa League games and pretty much the
Yeah.
rest of
But
Europe.
look at it this way. In 2 years, Sky Sports will be the place you go for international and Premier League football and Football League. BT will be where you go for every European game. They've got all the Europa Leagues, all the Champions League, no ITV or anything. Every single one.
It's
FA
weird.
Cup, Premier League, German League, Italian League, Brazilian League,
They're France.
SPL,
But
France.
isn't it weird to think that 40 years ago, I mean, Graham, you might be able to back me up here. You saw the first football match, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the first burning.
Anyway, isn't it amazing though? The BBC, like a public taxpayers' money, 204 million of it has gone to Match of the Day. Anyone who hates football right now, obviously they won't be listening.
I don't know. Maybe they want to hear my dulcet tones.
But seriously, they're burning their house down. Just like I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
But like Gary Lineker's there, like just before the goes on air.
No, to be fair, Gary Lineker said that I'm kind of paraphrasing a bit, but he's not happy about the amount of money that's going on it.
When does it stop?
Well, that's the thing. Like I said before, there are literally countries that don't have £5 billion to their name.
How long until we get the 10 billion deal?
Well, it's
10
never
years?
going to
Within
end
the next
because-
5 years.
Because the
Or
thing
say
is,
5.
worldwide, football is only getting bigger. Like, the population of the world is getting bigger, and
The
more people are
contract will
watching
expire
football.
in 2018-19.
And the Premier League is getting more and more global.
Yeah.
Because the world's getting smaller. Because everyone's got the
Like,
internet and everyone's got
when it-
phones and everything
When
like
it all
that.
when it started, like you could go to a few other countries, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I've heard of the Premier League." But now it's like you go anywhere.
You go Malaysia and people are like, "Oh yeah, mate, I've been watching the United game the other day."
Yeah,
they
like
were crap.
Well, speaking of like,
They beat Burnley, but they suck.
speaking of like international channels,
Even Chris Smalling scored.
there was talk of BN Sports creating a UK channel for this deal and buying Premier League football for England. I can see more channels from international like BN, Al Jazeera, something like that, buying an English channel, buying the English rights, and then you've got another competitor to throw in. That's where it'll go up to 10 million, 15 million. Well,
Billion.
billion.
I'm gonna say if it goes down to that, then it'll be like, what?
Isn't it amazing though that the 5.1 billion for the Premier League rights, it's worth more than like every football team in the world. If I'm
But what's the I know like
It's worth more than Messi.
Which is surprising.
Something worth more than
Because
him.
the amount of money they were talking about for that guy is...
TV is more important than Messi, apparently.
well,
We got more money going into TV.
well, it kind of is. To be fair, you can lose Messi and put someone else in there, but if you got no TV to put it on,
There's
no
no
one will
Messi.
The
care.
thing is, what I want to know is, what are they going to use this 5.1 billion, this unholy sum of money
student loans.
for?
Well, no,
I don't think that Richard Scudamore is going to come down here and go, don't worry about it, cocker, I'll pay for your year's tuition.
this is the best bit because
If you're listening,
Sort me out, mate.
Scudamore came out and said,
Come on now, Dick.
because there was a lot of talk about him putting it into grassroots football, and Richard Scudamore went, "We're a business, we're not a charity."
Yeah, it's... Don't even...
I actually agree with him, to be honest. If they're going to be a business, I know grassroots football needs money and that, but that's the FA's job. Why should the Premier League give out 5.1 billion of their own money to help grassroots football?
Because that's where the future is. Pardon
That
me.
is where the future is, but the Premier League will run anyway without the grassroots football. They don't need that. The FA does for the England team. That's the problem they've got. You wouldn't see the FA Cup going for money like this. That's the FA, what they've got to deal with. We'll go from FA to England team. Harry Kane and Daniel Sturridge. This is where the debate starts. Harry Kane or Daniel Sturridge as England number 9.
do you want to do a quick vote beforehand?
I can tell you exactly what I'd go for. It'd be Daniel Sturridge. I'd
Yeah.
have Harry Kane on the bench, give him like 30, 40 minutes of the game. Because at the moment he's still a kid. He's relatively unexperienced, like at the top level. Yeah, he's doing really well. And I do reckon he's the future of like England as a striker, if he carries on as he is now.
Yeah, I'd agree
Without
with
wanting
that.
to get too carried away, because English people do. We see a player play like 1-2 good games and we're like, oh mate, this is the next one.
I mean, England have got a Euro 2016 qualifier with Lithuania and a friendly with Italy in March. So there's a little time before it comes about. I mean, Kane could get an injury or Sturridge could get an injury. We're just talking hypothetically.
Right. I know, like, that's the England way. Don't think that.
We're just talking hypothetically. Who would work better with Wayne Rooney? Because Rooney's always going to play.
I would
He's the captain, he's got
prefer.
to.
I would
Kind of
prefer
loyal.
Harry Kane because he's a box player. He will always be in the box.
So is Sturridge, though.
When you watch the North London derby, every single chance he had, he barely moved, and he was already there. Daniel Sturridge, yes, I do understand what you mean. He's running around the box.
One thing to
isn't he?
support
So-
Harry Kane is the other day he made Moussa Dembele score a goal. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
you know.
but like you're saying
Is
that,
that
you're
a
saying
sign like maybe Tom Cleverley will get an England goal? Or Jack Wilshere?
can we just sell him to Villa so he can play in the Championship at the level he's probably best suited to?
That's why he was so good
I
at
have
Wigan.
no comeback.
Because it was Wigan.
No, you're saying though, like Sturridge isn't a box player. He totally is. He's just that he's probably a bit more capable outside of the box than Harry Kane is. Plus, you've got to think Sturridge is more experienced at that level. Sturridge has proven that he's good on the international stage, whereas Harry Kane, he's too young to have got that kind of experience yet.
What about Andy Carroll, who's on crutches at the minute? Unfortunately,
He's having a
we
scan.
we don't here at Arcade Football. We don't find that funny much.
We don't find it funny except for the fact it's West Ham.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just the fact
it kind of sucks for Andy Carroll. Like, obviously, hope it's not too bad.
Kind of the other
He's,
way.
But
he's
at the
having
same
he's
time-
having a scan, and we'll find out on Friday how bad it is.
Isn't it weird how like?
What, Andy Carroll
3
gets
years
injured?
ago-
It's
No,
not really
it's not weird at all. It's
No.
perfectly normal.
3 years ago, this guy was looked at to be a big England striker.
Well, this is what I
And
was
then
saying about
now
Harry
we're-
Kane. Like, yeah, he's very good,
Yeah.
but not to get too carried away. 'cause
Well,
we done
yeah,
the same
but,
with Rooney.
yeah,
and now
but
look,
if the
he's a defensive
the
midfielder,
problem for Andy
apparently.
Carroll is he's played about 6 games since those 3 years ago.
since they spent how much on him to bring him to West Ham?
Yeah. That's the
15?
problem.
The thing is, it now gives one-to-way striker Carlton Cole a
A
chance
chance to
for it.
play.
He played.
I'm sorry.
he played-
when
didn't
Carlton
he?
Cole wants to get out of your club, it's time to pack your bags and go home, boys.
Carlton Cole did play yesterday, but he was taken off for UC Ascalon because Adrian got sent off.
Which, by the way, massive bell end. Have you seen the replays? He's like sick. He's practically on the halfway line. He's like, "Nah, I'm just going to grab this ball. It'll be fine. The referee won't even notice." You're right in front of him, you pillock.
Graham Eyre, everybody.
He's here all week.
Spat on my laptop. Oh.
We'll move on from. Well, no, we need a decision for everyone. We'll even throw Carroll into the mix. Kane, Sturridge, or Carroll.
I'm sorry, the fact that you're mentioning Carroll as an England striker shows how bad we've got.
So we'll start with Graham. You say Sturridge?
Sturridge, all over.
Harry Kane.
Sturridge.
I'm going to go. I'd say Sturridge. Just the experience factor, personally.
We'll give him half an hour.
Yeah, no,
against Lithuania.
definitely
give him
give him
half
some
an
game time. Definitely, he's worth a crack at the very least.
Can you
but
remember when we started this season? Everyone's like, "Oh, who's he going to be? Sturridge and Berahino."
Yeah.
Berahino's completely off the radar now.
See, you see, this is
it's
the problem.
Not, it's not
yesterday,
even
though,
that.
didn't he?
It's not even that
So did
Berahino's
Brownie
been
Day.
that bad. It's not even like
Brownie
Berahino's
Day.
had a
Wait, the table shaking. I think we
Brownie
earthquake.
Day has scored 2 in 2 now
No,
for
well,
West
yeah, I was going to say, to be fair, for the past 5 games, Brownie Day's played really well under Pulis.
Yeah, it's not like Berahino's had a
well, mate.
particularly bad season, like considering the squad he's got behind him. But it's just that Kane has been so good
Yeah.
and on such a consistent basis. I can't remember a game that I've seen him play badly in this season.
So from Andy Carroll, who's basically blind with his scoring record, to Fabrizio Colaccini, who should have been blind.
Who should?
I thought you
He's
were
pretty lucky not to be
I
blind.
thought
Yeah.
you were going to go on to Falcao then, but
Oh, this guy!
Yeah, but we'll go on to Colaccini, who was struck by a coin against Palace in the 1-1 draw, which, like, literally
It's a
missed his eye
disgrace.
by an inch.
Yeah.
Literally.
it's a disgrace.
it's-
It is
Disgraceful.
shocking that
This happened-
that's still in football.
This happened a few years ago.
You remember
You
what I
were
was telling you
saying
before
earlier,
about in Portugal at
In
Benfica
Portugal.
SLB game?
Yeah.
Back, I think it said in the 80s or something like that, there was an incident between those two teams where basically a Benfica fan wound up getting burnt alive by flares. So at this game between them, and it caused this like 13-year-long like massive falling out where they absolutely hated each other. So
First game back, they decided to chuck players
So
at each
yeah,
other.
in this game,
Because that's logic.
they finally sorted out their thing. So they were mugging them off basically about this dude who got burned, and then like they're chucking flares at him as well. It's like, what are you doing? Why would people get that wound up over football? But they're willing to almost blind someone or burn them. I mean, what kind of child tries to burn somebody?
Wait, you say why do people get that wound up? Because football is a religion.
No, I get that it's like, sport is an emotional thing, like you get involved in it if you care. But do you really want to get that wound up that you're willing to almost blind somebody?
That's the difference.
What is wrong with people when you do that?
That's the difference between football and, say, yoga. Could you imagine that?
Can you imagine in yoga? Like, and now we're going to try Warrior 4. Coin!
I think I almost tried to shoot the tree all wrong.
Anyway,
And you've got a horde of fans outside the yoga mats with vuvuzelas.
we'll move on to the gossip column because this should be fun right now. We're going to move away from the Villa manager a bit because we've spoke about that a fair bit.
Did we now?
It's all Villa, I think, at this. But yeah. Transfers.
West Ham are considering a move for 26-year-old United striker Javier Hernandez, who's on loan at Real
Taken.
Madrid. What is that?
Taken.
Okay.
Southampton striker Dani Osvaldo has ended his Premier League nightmare by signing for boyhood club Boca Juniors in Argentina. This is his fourth different club in 13 months.
Wait, how is was he terminated his contract at Saints or was they?
Well,
No.
this is according to the Mirror.
He's on loan.
Oh no, it's a load of rubbish then.
He's
Well,
just,
carry on, no,
It just
carry
means
on
it's
then.
badly written.
Yeah.
this is not the Sun or the Star, which is just a comic book.
Yeah. The Star have mentioned United have a slim chance of signing Marco Reus despite him signing a new contract last year. This is the great thing. They've said if United stump up £50 million, they can get him.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, because that's...
I also have a slim chance of being the Chelsea captain.
Yeah,
But, you know.
the issue with it is that in his old contract there was a release there was like a release clause in it. Like, you match this sum, you can have him. But it was like a crazy amount of money, like 30-40 million.
Oh,
Now
that's
that
too much, then.
now this new contract has got rid of that, so they can name their own price. So no, we haven't got a prayer of signing.
There isn't-
Because why would you want to sell him?
There isn't actually much more gossip apart from that and from what we've talked
Steven
about.
Gerrard is unlikely to play again this month after picking up a slight hamstring strain in the two.
Yeah.
Only slight, yeah.
Only slight.
Well, a lot of it is just like, it's a lot of newspaper talk about stuff like Jagielka saying that he thinks the referee in the Chelsea game basically cracked under the pressure from Chelsea players to send off Gareth Barry, despite the fact it was a blatant second yellow card.
They always have a funny one to end it on, and today's quite class actually. If you click back on it, it's
Olivier Giroud.
Olivier
the
Giroud.
hottest Premier League player.
by American women apparently. No, but that's not the funny bit. It's
I'll tap that.
It's the apparently the hottest team are Burnley.
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 Can I just ask?
We knew Americans were dumb, but-
why are we saying it in that way?
Burnley.
Yeah, what are you judging people what they look like now?
No, that's
we're judging-
That's what apparently fully qualified journalists are doing.
No, we're
This
judging
is my
Burnley.
future career, and this is what they're making me do. I don't want to write about Burnley being fit.
Danny Ings, yeah, right about
Oh, I do love a bit of Danny Ings.
Just want to push people in the way of England
Danny.
women's international friendly tomorrow night. Live on the BBC, England women's have got a live game. It's on BBC or BT. You'll have to check that out.
I think it's the babe.
Oh, the babe.
There's FA Cup fixtures this week. It's back to fifth round, and
Best
after
competition in the world.
after literally like everybody you thought could win it were chucked out by lower league opposition last round.
Banter.
There isn't many key games. I mean, Palace, Liverpool, maybe.
West Brom,
Oh,
West
that
Ham.
should be a pretty good game actually.
West Brom, West Ham, Bradford at home to Sunderland. That's an upset chance. Arsenal,
Middlesbrough travel to
Middlesbrough.
Arsenal, yep.
Uh,
And United travel to Preston.
That could actually be a tough game for United because Preston are doing well in League
And we
One.
kind of suck at the moment.
What?
Can I just talk about one non-FA Cup fixture, which is going to be the tastiest game in the world? Leeds Man United. Leeds
Leeds
Millwall.
Millwall.
Leeds Millwall.
That would be a tasty game, but
That would be
no,
a tasty
that's-
game, but Leeds Millwall.
Well, yeah, earlier when we were talking about that, I was listening to my music. I was listening to a song called Kill Everybody. It's by Skrillex. It's really good. But, it seems oddly appropriate, bearing in mind it's Millwall and Leeds. Two of the most rabid sets of fans you will ever see. Because
Just
Millwall are vicious.
You're
And these are
guaranteed
just
that
dirty.
the journalists are going to be at the
Yorkshire,
game with their laptops ready to write in the headline bit.
5,000 fatalities recorded at the Leeds Millwall game.
Why are we
A
laughing?
nuclear bomb was dropped in order to curb the violence.
You do realise that happens now, West?
Leeds in We called it first, though. We warned
You
them
heard
all.
it here first.
We warned
Just
them that would be
don't blow up
fatality.
Wakefield. I want to go back home soon.
Fatality.
The biggest game of the weekend on the Villa Leicester. Actually, could be the biggest game after Lambert's been sacked. It'll be given the most sort of.
Yeah,
What about
it's going to get a lot of coverage now.
Yeah.
Speaking
We
of
have-
sackings, is Nigel Pearson still Leicester manager?
Yeah, that
Yes.
we forgot.
Will he,
like,
though?
Yeah, apparently what happened with that was that he
They tweeted
he
too
got
soon?
he got sacked, and
then
then
got unsacked.
3.5 hours later, because it's the chairman's the one that sacked him, and then his son, who's the vice chairman or deputy chairman or whatever the one underneath is, he then got it back in touch and said, "Oh, don't worry about it, mate. We'll bring him back in." 3.5 hours.
It
3.5 hours.
He just had a tantrum. I got it, man. Don't worry.
He
I've
hadn't had his wine.
just saw this article here.
Oh, the
you know
thing
when
about-
Sam Allardyce Sam Allardyce accused Van Gaal of playing the long ball. They've actually done an article on who's the long ball team in the.
Well,
in
like,
the
Burnley, isn't it?
That's
West Brom.
That's due to under Pulis. That's not much of a surprise.
No.
That's due to Van Gaal coming out in defence of it in his press conference, and he brought
he brought out
a 3-page sheet as why West Ham play more long balls than Man United.
But can you?
To be fair,
do you know where
it wasn't
United are
wrong.
in it? Do you know where United are in it? Though?
Second.
No,
Bottom.
we are
Well-
530.
Graham can't count. There's only 20 teams in the Premier League.
No. It's got West Brom at the top. It's got long balls played and Premier League position of two somethings. So West Brom played 1,063. Fuck it. 1,063 long balls so
They
far
played a
this
lot
season.
of long balls.
A lot of balls. Man United, on the other hand, have only played 529.
Not many balls.
I wonder what.
Which is not as many balls, but it's still quite a lot of
I
balls.
wondered what was hitting me in the head every time I went home. It just must be West Brom playing long balls.
But the funny thing is, Sam Allardyce accuses them of that, but yet they're fourth.
They're far from the place.
They're fourth, so how can you accuse them of it?
You know what? I bet Sam Allardyce, when Van Gaal came out with those papers, he's just sitting there like, ha, gotcha.
And by the way,
Brilliant.
Manchester
In his
City
broad
are
Dudley
bottom of
accent.
in
it.
his broad Dudley accent.
Manchester City are bottom with it in second. So maybe that should be the reason why they win the title. Go for the long ball now, yeah?
Yeah.
See if it works.
That doesn't mean that West Brom are going to win. Fucking Premier League. No amount of long
Well, then-
balls
no,
or any other
no,
kind of
they
ball.
they
will
just haven't got the
allow
goal
West Brom
scorers.
to win it.
They just haven't got the goal scorer. That's all.
Shall we quickly skip over the midweek results? we
we can-
touched about Chelsea's.
We did say we would.
We did say we would. We've
Chris
touched-
Smalling scored twice.
we've touched
World's
on-
best player.
We've touched on Villa. We've touched on Chelsea. We've touched on the Liverpool Spurs game. We should speak.
And we're
about
getting the
Chris
restraining
Smalling
order
twice.
soon, but yeah.
Chris
We did touch on them pretty hard.
Chris Smalling.
But there were a lot more balls involved with that.
Chris Smalling came on as a substitute and scored after 22 seconds after coming on.
He then scored again just before half time, and then got taken off.
A substitute got substituted.
Well, it's Chris Smalling, to be fair. I wouldn't want him on the pitch any longer than he had to be.
The sub got subbed.
The
He
sub
did,
got
he did in a
subbed.
buoy.
One day we're going to see this thing of someone just runs on pitch. Oh, sorry, wrong player. No, you come back quick.
Stoke lost at home to Man City, as you would expect.
Sergio Aguero did it on a rainy Tuesday night.
I was watching.
yeah.
I was watching this with Thowney interview with Samir Nasri. It's like it's not a good place to go for City, and he said no, it's a very difficult place to go because the weather's against us. And it's a cold midweek night. He basically it's a tough place to go on Stoke. He did it.
To be fair, Stoke's a tough
Sammy
place to
Nasri
go
has
regardless
started,
of the
yeah.
weather. Because
That-
it's Stoke.
That's really his face.
That's a big
Not
win
even because
for
it's
them.
of a football club you're facing. Stoke's just a tough place to
But
No,
have
it's
to go
the
to.
wind.
This
It's the
is-
wind.
Oh no, but it's just because it's that city.
It's a terrible
Stoke
place.
is just a terrible place to go.
There's Matt.
And then,
There's
by the way, the
there.
football team are quite hard to play against at home as well.
But that's a massive victory for him because it's kept
Yeah.
him in the title race. But there's not many people, teams, that win at Stoke. I put them down for defeat because I thought that's
Have you-
giant team.
I thought a draw.
Mugged me right off.
Southampton versus West Ham was a game that you thought could be a great game, considering it's third versus eighth. Turns out it wasn't.
It was kind of.
It was
naff.
kind
game?
of crap. Southampton, West Ham.
Don't.
There's been a lot of stuff getting said about West Ham basically going there for a point.
In the Alan Pardew
And
derby,
it
it was
seems
1-0.
pretty.
West Brom beat Swansea 2-0, which is a great win for them.
Especially with Brownie Day
'cause-
and Berahino.
Well, yeah, like the
goals.
Newcastle thing was basically Alan Pardew versus like Alan Pardew Jr.
Well,
Because
but
that's all Carver is.
I'll be honest. I don't.
He's
think,
basically said like he's just Alan Pardew with
I
a
don't
different
think
name.
that game is going to be bigged up as much as Nottingham Forest derby. That fixture will never be that kind of one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
With Brian Clough.
Then on the Tuesday, Arsenal beat Leicester 2-1. Walcott and, was it Koscielny got in the goals? Their new signing, Andrej Kramaric, got Leicester's goal and gave Arsenal a scary 10 minutes.
Apparently,
because
going
they
to be
hit
the best
the
player in
post.
the world. Yeah. Oh, sorry, that's Welbeck.
Hull beat the Villa and Lambert got sacked. Sunderland lost at home to QPR, which is amazing for
Which
QPR.
got the caretaker manager the
Yeah.
job.
And Steven
Yeah, I'll
Gerrard
be
got
honest.
injured as Liverpool won 3-2.
Anything else?
That is the like we were talking again earlier. Liverpool winning that and all their results going in their way as well. That's opened the Champions League wide open.
Definitely, yeah,
Like,
definitely.
Even
Arsenal
third isn't as sure.
Well, Southampton in fourth, 46 points. Arsenal in fifth, 45 points. Tottenham in sixth, 43 points. Liverpool in seventh, 42 points. West Ham are just out there in eighth with 38.
Well, yeah, like
probably out
the
the race
other day
now.
before United played against Burnley, because I think it was the Liverpool game, pushed us down to fifth.
Graham, you'll be happy
And then
to
we
know
jumped
you're
straight back
back
up
in
again.
third place.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like it's so close,
I need to check something. I'm just
and now all of a sudden we're back in third place, and it still hasn't got the views.
Is it not got the views? We will have to link it again, guys. You have to be listening to
Incidentally,
the
for any
Christmas
PSG fans, a hilariously named goalkeeper Douche has signed a 1-year contract extension.
special. I think it's Douche.
No, it's Douche.
No. I want it to.
But I
be
hear he's a nice guy.
Oh, Graham, we're on to 90 views.
That's fine. It's still it's
Yes.
fine.
Refresh.
Refresh.
And
There's still like 5 months to go.
so make sure you listen to
Only
that.
13 games.
Make sure you go back and listen to the Christmas special.
Not at all.
Well, in about 2 minutes once this was completely finished, because I think we're all out, guys.
I think we're done.
Yeah, I think
We are out of time. We're actually 2 minutes over the hour, so we are getting better to the hour. We're doing well.
That's because there wasn't much to talk about though.
I don't know. I could have got a lot angrier
Yeah,
about a lot
yeah.
of other stuff. but-
That is true.
We were quite restrained.
We did go on Hazard quite a bit, so
No,
yeah.
Mourinho. We
Mourinho,
went
yeah,
Mourinho.
And Mourinho, yeah.
Make sure you keep looking at the blog and the Facebook page where we got regular posts.
And we also have a new blog site, don't we? Fandom.
Yeah, we're also producing articles for fanthem.co.uk, which is an American site. You'll see a lot of American football ones, but if you click on the
Premier League soccer.
well, there's a football page. That's how it's
Oh,
spelled,
like
F-U-T-B-O-L.
German. Yeah.
There's a page, and that's where you'll find our stuff.
Americans, they just can't do anything.
But yeah, so we got a wider audience. This
It's not
podcast will
hard,
be
it's
on there.
association football.
If you're listening to this podcast linked through that website, I apologise for that whole thing because that's just waste of time to you. Yeah, we've
But
also
cheers for reading the articles, yeah?
And thank you for listening. as well.
we've also got Tight Reel as well. Keep an eye on that, as well as the Twitter and the Facebook. We will be back hopefully next week if we can.
We are just rocking the social media,
We are
aren't we?
just rocking it out.
And we also have our own ones if you want to find us.
Yeah.
We're not going through that now. We're trying to finish.
No, we need to. We've got to cut it soon because
That's
otherwise
what-
we're going to wind up 20 minutes down the line. We're
Guys-
going on my blog.
guys, that's I'm trying to finish it. We will be back next week, hopefully, unless the man keeps us down again and
Yep,
schedules.
let's
and
face it, you
crap.
will do.
Hopefully, Mark and Stuart will also be with us, so make sure you're listening to that.
What more can we say, really?
Let's hopefully we've got a new manager by the time we're back.
Let's hope Villa can get some points.
Yeah.
Well, let's go for what's realistic at least.
Well,
draw.
Get a draw. So that's all
not
from us.
realistic.
That's all from us. Have a good week.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.